And it sort of blew my mind a little bit as we're looking at this. And I'm just thinking of this metaphor of lighting and how much different shades can impact what you see. Like, we were talking on the way here, exhaustion. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Changes the lighting, changes how you see things. This is Ryan and Michelle, and welcome to the Celebrate MarriageCast, where we hope to restore and reclaim godly marriages through honest and real conversations.
Welcome to episode 141. We are so glad you're joining us today and making this investment in your relationship. Really proud of you for carving out this time. And as you listen to the show, if people are put on your heart or mind, please, we encourage you to share this show with them so that they too can be impacted just like you are. Now, Ryan, we talk often about how people will ask us, how do you come up with fresh content every week? And our answer is usually that, well, every week we get fresh downloads from God because real life happens.
Yeah.
So you may have seen our show title. Ryan wrote last week's, I wrote this week's, Ugly Paint, Beautiful Marriage.
Yeah.
I have a story to tell.
Yeah, actually, it's funny because this is the end of a story that we shared. Because part of this was like a 5-minute Friday of like, we're going to do a paint project and we're going to get it done. We're going to check something off our list. We got it done, and now there's a story to tell. Yeah,
we followed our own assignment, so that's good accountability, I guess, for us.
Absolutely.
We do the things, and yeah, you're right. Ryan had said to get something off of our list. So we have lived in this house since, well, you've lived there longer. I've lived there since right after we were married. I moved in, so almost 15 years. Mm-hmm. And right after we got married, we painted the living room blue, which I know you guys just have to see it. It looked really cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
It still looked nice. I still think it did look nice, but I'd wanted to just freshen up the walls and get kind of fresh white walls and just lighten the place up.
Yeah, it was on our walls for 11 years.
11?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, because I was pregnant.
You were
so
pregnant,
it was a little bit after.
Could not paint.
Well, I tried to paint, but my body broke out in a full-on rash.
Yep.
Because it was like a Martha Stewart metallic blue that we had to start with.
Yeah.
It was really, apparently very toxic because it broke out.
I remember because it was quite the process for somebody that really doesn't like to paint.
You hate it. Yeah. Well, and then you had to do two. So we got different blue paint and you had to do several coats to cover it up because it was so crazy.
I think 4 coats in all.
So
it's a story.
We vowed to not paint that room again. Right. We're just done with it. We're over it. So we had it on our list to get fresh white walls. So we had the painter come and there's a little bit of a miscommunication. I had told them to take a chip from the current, not the blue wall, but the wall like adjacent to it. It was still kind of an offish white color. And I said, take a chip of that so that I can go to the paint store and pick out a complementary color because the other, like we'll just call it the old white. That other old white color runs throughout a lot of walls of our house. So I wanted to make sure they were in the same, cool, warm, whatever palette tone. Ryan, bless your heart, you were there when they came, they did the chips. They worked really fast because by the time I had a chance to follow up with the painter, they already had a 5-gallon bucket of that made. So on my lunch break downtown, I walked over to the paint store and took a look. And when I went in, you guys, on the computer screen, he pulled it up and I said, hey, I need to take a sample of this paint home. Not the 5-gallon bucket. They said we can change it if we really, don't love it. But I need to take a sample home to put on my wall. So he pulled it up on the computer and it was tan. I'm going to make a note just for fun. I don't know if we can put photos in the show notes. We probably can. Oh, maybe we can put it in the show though. I feel like you guys just need to see the photo. Patrick, can we put a photo in? He gave a thumbs up.
Oh, yeah.
It is tan. I walk in, it is on his computer and it's tan. And I, in my head, am thinking, oh my gosh, this project has been on our list for so long and we're making an investment and I kind of really hate the paint color. It's it's brown, it's tan, which is great. We had our outdoor trim painted a similar color, but not for these fresh white walls I wanted. So he's like, well, don't pay attention to that. Look at the actual paint sample. I get the paint sample and it's kind of a light tan, right? Lightish gray. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm walking back to my office through the downtown Sunshine parking lot and I call you and I'm like, I hate it. I really hate it. And I don't say, like, I try to refrain from that word because it's a strong word. But that was how I was feeling about this paint. I really despise this paint color. So he's like, it's okay. I called a painter. I called the painter and they're like, we'll make it right. Just go home, try it out. So this is Friday night last week. I get home, do a little sample on the wall, and it dries. And I love it. It is white, it is fresh, and I have no idea how paint works, but in the lighting of our house, it looked beautiful. And my mind was just in shock. I couldn't even comprehend how the ugly tan on the screen and the pretty gross beigey white ended up being a beautiful, fresh white on the walls inside of the O'Connor residence. And that's my story. And we're going to dive into that as it applies to your marriage.
Yeah, I don't know, Michelle. Paint is such a tricky thing. I don't know. So looking at this, we have this ugly tan. We have beautiful white, right? It's sort of a matter of perspective. And I think really what in your life do you need to have a little patience with? Put the paint on, let it dry, see how it looks. Or change the lighting. Maybe you're viewing something in the wrong lighting and it's skewing your perception. Is it something about your spouse that you look at them and say, oh my gosh, this quirk of theirs is so gross. Gross paint.
Gross tan.
Gross tan.
Can't stand it.
But actually, it's really beautiful. Maybe something you perhaps even loved about them when you were dating, their laugh, how they were a little free-flowing. Maybe that makes them late and now drives you crazy, etc. Right? It's looking at this from a different perspective.
Yeah, that's great, Ryan. I love that, just changing the lighting. And I think that is such a great question for our listeners to ask themselves. So I have a list of things that maybe at one time were, maybe it's gone the opposite way. Maybe at one time it was really great, fresh white paint, and now it's this gross blah tan. And you're like, how did I get here? But we want to help you to get some new lighting on it. So I have a list. So maybe which of these resonate with you? I have about 9 or 10 here I'm going to read. So maybe your spouse was spontaneous and adventurous when they were dating, and now they feel irresponsible or hard to plan with. Okay, think about why you fell in love with them, and has that perspective of what you loved about them changed? Okay, maybe they were super social and could talk to anyone, and now you think that they never stop talking or they overcommit the calendar. We actually had a guest on, and I remember that was their example. They loved when they were dating that their now spouse was so talkative. And then it kind of shifted when they were married. It was just, oh, she talks all the time and we just can't leave places. But they had to go back to, a friend actually called them out and said, hey, you loved that about your spouse when you were dating. Remember that, and remember all the good that comes from that, and how you meet people you would have never met, and how you've been in, situations now and experiences that you never would have had she not talked and helped to make those connections. So maybe they were confident and decisive, and now they feel controlling. Maybe when you were dating, they were driven and ambitious, and now it feels like they're always working. Okay, any of those relate so far? I have a few more here. So maybe they were detail-oriented, and now they feel nitpicky. Maybe they were passionate when you were dating and opinionated, and you loved that, but now every conversation feels like a debate. What about this? They were independent before you were married, and now they seem emotionally unavailable. Or maybe they were really smart with their money and watched where every penny went, and now they just feel cheap. Or maybe when you were dating, you loved that they were deeply loyal to their family, but now it feels like there are no boundaries and they're always with that group of family, that side of the family. So do any of those relate or resonate with you as our listener? Like, which of those kind of are like, you know what? Oh my gosh, I loved that about my spouse when we were dating, and now that same exact thing drives me crazy. Let's dig into that a little.
Yeah, Michelle, I think those are such interesting lists because I feel like that happens all of the time. Mm-hmm. Where, there was this thing that was super attractive when you started dating. And then, the longer that it went on, all of a sudden that perspective shifts. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, that's so annoying. Well,
wait a minute.
Like, that is the very thing. Like, as you're reading this list, I sort of laughed a little bit.
Yeah, are you thinking of something specific right now?
It's so funny because one of the things, and I shared this a few weeks back, I on an episode that, I knew right away, like when our first date, like we talked forever.
Yeah.
And like we sat at this restaurant for like 3 hours and just talked. It was our green flags episode. And you were super curious and like we just sat and talked.
Yeah, I know where this is going.
For 3 hours. Yeah. And like we still were talking.
Yeah, and you loved it.
And I loved it because like, man, I'm not a talker. So like the fact that we're just having this conversation. I just laugh because like, and I don't think of this as a negative. So I'm not like, but I realize like Sunday mornings, church.
I knew you were going there.
We won't get out of there till like the next service is beginning. Yep. Because we got to talk to everybody along the way.
Yep. That is true. Yeah. I knew it. I knew exactly where you were going with that. I thought, he is totally thinking about Sunday mornings at church.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to, do all the social circles. Talk to everyone. I can't just go rushing by people like,
exactly,
oh, sorry.
Exactly. But I'm saying like, I can see how that's just an example.
That's a great example.
I don't think of it as negative. I'm just, I can see how that could shift. Mm-hmm.
Because that very thing when we were dating helped you to come out of your introverted shell and helped us to be able to learn about each other and connect. And you're spot on, Ryan, that now that potentially could drive somebody crazy. Oh, we can't just go anywhere we can't just go in and out. Everything takes twice as long.
Yeah.
But you don't view it that way. You are able to just kind of chuckle. Oh yeah, mom's still in there. Like, where's mom? Oh, she's still in there. We were leaving on Mother's Day and they were handing out flowers, and the flower outer people, that's not the term, the host team handing them out had already left. So you went back, bless your heart, and grabbed me one. But it was really our own doing because it was well into the next service when we left. So it's not like the team should have been out. It's just that was when we were leaving because we were talking to people.
Yeah.
That's great, Ryan. Thanks for that real life example.
Absolutely. Michelle, the other thing, just as you were, as we're talking about this paint project, one of the things that was really eye-opening to me, and maybe this is a male thing, and I'm not, is lighting. We were looking at this with different lighting, and I thought it was so interesting in how that changed how things looked.
Yep.
And I'm going to use two words. This is where like
hit us with it, Ryan.
This is where like I don't have a clear understanding of palettes and things like this, but you use two words that I thought are so interesting and ties into this: warm lighting and cool lighting. I didn't know this was a thing. But it drastically changed how you saw things.
Yeah.
And the color that showed up and what type of lighting you used.
Yeah. Yep.
And it sort of blew my mind a little bit as we're looking at this. And I'm just thinking of this metaphor of lighting and how much different shades can impact what you see. Like, we were talking on the way here, exhaustion. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Changes the lighting, changes how you see things. Stress, you have a terrible day at work, changes the lighting, changes how you see things. When you start to look at those, whether it be comparison, resentment, on the flip side, gratitude.
Yeah.
When you change the lighting, you change what you see. You change what color shows up. Beautiful white, gross tan. It changes. It changes how you see it.
That's really good, love. That's really great. I think that it is really that perception and also some of the environmental things, right? Like changing, maybe I need to change my lighting to see this clearly again. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, Michelle, the thing that frustrates you most about your spouse today might be the very same thing that once made you feel safe, alive, pursued, attracted. And it's all about those things.
Yeah.
It's all that perspective.
Yeah, I think that, a lot of marriages probably don't necessarily need different paint. Like I was ready to throw that paint away. I was so disappointed.
Yeah.
You guys, I was so disappointed because it was such an investment and I'm so excited for it. But really, we just needed to get that paint in the right lighting. In our home, it looked gorgeous.
Yeah.
I didn't need new paint. I didn't need a new home. I just needed to get the paint to my home and look at it there and to realize, wow, this is actually perfect. So, and maybe it's the lighting or maybe it's just letting the paint dry a little more.
Yeah, absolutely. It, that was the amazing thing. Like you put it on the wall and it was just like, because you
saw it, right?
I'm not
gross.
I'm not astute to colors, and so but I did look at what you sent me and was like, ugh, that's not what we wanted.
Oh shoot, there's 5 gallons of this. We're gonna be donating that.
But you put it on the wall and it dried, and it was just like, wow.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful.
We can work with that.
We can work with that. Right.
So, and now our living room's put back together. We just did the paint walkthrough today and signed off on it. And yeah, now we get the furniture's all put back and we get to hang up our not paintings, our portraits that we have and stuff like that. So some photos. So yeah. Well, any other parting thoughts from you, Ryan?
Oh, Michelle, I love this. This is real. I love the title that you created. You wrote the show and I love it. Just this idea of ugly paint, beautiful marriage. I love the title. I love the concept of this.
Thanks, love. It was going to be a 5-minute Friday, but as I got going, I thought, you know what? There is a lot to unpack here. So here we are with the real life story. So thank you to our listeners for joining us today. We hope that you have a great rest of your week. We have resources at Celebrate.church and Celebrate.church/marriage. Thanks for listening.